All right, people, this is Chris Hussman, otherwise known as the Barbecue Buddha, and in prep for the Philadelphia Eagles going to the Super Bowl, I'm going to make a Philadelphia-style steak and cheese sandwich, or a cheesesteak like they call it in Philly, on the LoCo Griddle. The first thing I'm going to do is take this Snake River Farms American Wagyu New York strip, and I'm going to put it into the freezer for 30 minutes. That's going to allow me to get really thin slices on this steak. So let's put this in the freezer. All right, so while that steak is in the freezer, and we're gonna prep it in just a little bit, I'm gonna set up the LoCo Griddle so it's ready for the cook. First of all, we're gonna turn the griddle SmartTemp to low, and we're gonna press the ignite button. So the way I'm gonna set up the LoCo Griddle for this cook is I'm gonna create 3 different zones. The far left is gonna be the hottest, so I'm gonna set that on sear. The middle one, I'm gonna set that, it's gonna be on 400 degrees. And the far right zone is going to be on low. So that way, when food is cooked, like the onions, I'm gonna be able to move it to the right side and keep it warm while I'm assembling the rest of the sandwich. So let's go inside and prep the rest of the ingredients and come back out here and start cooking. All right, so we're gonna go old school with this. Every time I post a cheesesteak sandwich, somebody yells at me, don't put this in it, don't put that in it. So for all of you classic cheesesteak fans out there, I'm only putting an onion and cheese, and of course the steak. So let's chop up this onion and get ready to cook. All right, I have a couple sub rolls. These are nice white bread sub rolls from the grocery store here locally. We're just gonna split that sub roll. All right, it's been 30 minutes. We have the onions prepped, the bread is prepped, the griddle is preheating. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get this steak out of the freezer. We're gonna get this New York strip steak and we're gonna slice it up really thin. And take a look at this. I'm using a product from Snake River Farms that is already thinly sliced it in cross sections. So this thinly slicing it against that cross section thinly sliced will give me lots of little bits and pieces to cook with on the griddle. Now we'll get this sliced up New York strip steak into a bowl. All right, we're outside. Look, I've got the LoCo Griddle. This side is, the far left side is set up for searing. The middle side we're at about 400 degrees or medium heat. And then I have the right side set up for low heat. That's where we're gonna transition the food when it's cooked and we wanna keep it warm. I've got the mise en place all ready to go. I've got a shaved steak right here, my provolone cheese, some butter, onion, mayonnaise, and the sub rolls. We're gonna get to cooking, people. We're gonna put a little oil down and start cooking. Reason why I put oil down first and then butter is the oil helps the butter maintain a higher smoke point so the butter doesn't burn and leave an acrid flavor all over the vegetables. Now we're going to put the diced onion right onto the griddle surface. All right, it's been about 5 or 6 minutes. The onions are nice and cooked down. They look good, they smell good. I'm going to move them to the cooler side of the griddle and start the steak. A little more oil. And of course, a little more butter. And we're going to put the steak on. Put a little salt, kosher salt, and ground black pepper on the steak to get it seasoned. We're gonna let this grill on one side for a few minutes to get a nice color and caramelization of that steak, get a little more mouthfeel, texture, and flavor. The steak is all cooked. We're going to take these onions that we cooked earlier and we're going to add them into the steak. We're going to mix all that in, work in the steak. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a little mayonnaise on the bread to help get it nice and toasty. Just a little smear of mayonnaise on either side of the roll. We want to get this sub roll nice and golden brown. Put some cheese, provolone cheese, on the steak. Then I'm going to close the lid of the LoCo griddle to let the steam trap in and get the cheese nice and melty. Let's take a look and see how the bread and the cheesesteaks are coming along. Ooh, that's what you're looking for. And see, that's what you're getting. This is the hotter side of the griddle. That's the lower heat side of the griddle. So these will be the sandwiches that Mrs. Buddha and I eat. Let's take a look at the bread. Ooh, that's nice and toasty. Yes. Ooh, how good does that look, people? All right, now follow me, Mrs. Buddha. We're going to put that in aluminum foil. I'm going to take this cheesesteak sandwich. I'm going to wrap it up in this aluminum foil. When you wrap it up, it helps the bread get nice and steamy. And we'll cut this open like an authentic cheesesteak in just a few minutes. Ooh, that looks so good. Oh my goodness. It's been sitting in here for about 10 minutes. I bet this bun is nice and soft and steamy. Ooh. If you liked this video, you liked what you learned, please subscribe, please follow, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, everybody. This is Chris Sussman, otherwise known as the Barbecue Buddha. Here is my LoCo Griddle Philly cheesesteak, and we are now going to do the Buddha bite. Yes.